I love Jason Aldean. I'm like, I really hope he gets hit by a tractor.
He looks like the lead singer from Smash Mouth with a cowboy hat on.
He does.
He looks. It's like I've never seen him and the guy from Smash Mouth and Guy Fieri in the same room together, and there's a reason for that.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And on the 11th day, the Flying Spaghetti Monster said, fuck Mondays, let's eat lasagna. I'm going to continue this.
He's been doing this every week.
He's not going to stop, Spencer. He's found a religion.
Yes.
It's true.
Pastafarian,
He's in the honeymoon phase right now.
Pastafari.
Before the break, the answer you gave was beef, but the actual answer is 9.
Yes. Welcome back to another episode of the Beacon House Podcast.
Hey, everybody, what's up?
Yes, Spencer.
That's me.
Hunter.
That's me.
I don't know why I'm introducing you guys. This is your job.
Well, you've gone this far. You may as well introduce.
I'm Casey, and we have a special guest with us. I'm super excited. And I think that's what it is. I'm super excited.
Tell them who we got, Case.
I have my good friend Kyle.
What up?
Kyle, can I say your last name, or is that private?
Yeah, I don't care.
Or can I just call you Denim Dan?
You just did.
Call him Denim Dan.
I'm Kyle DeHart. I'm Denim Dan. I've known Casey for...
Straight from DeHart.
From DeHart? Oh, man. I used to be on the newspaper team in high school, and I had my own personal article called Straight from DeHart, which was really just an excuse for me not to have to interview this tennis team or something. I would just write whatever bullshit I felt like talking about. Can I swear on here? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, we don't
full
swear
on.
on this. No.
Full on.
Hey, we don't swear. Don't.
How long have we known each other? Because I was in a third grade class. I knew your mom because she was like a teacher's assistant for your sister.
Third grade.
In the third grade.
That's been at least a month ago.
Yeah, at least.
For you.
But COVID.
He's got a pretty big beard for a baby.
Well, it's COVID. I'm not allowed to go to school.
The COVID.
But no, like your mom used to come in and she was my favorite like teacher assistant. Or like she would come in and help like the teacher with field trips and stuff. And I'd be like, I want to go with Mr. Hart. And that's how I knew your sister. And throughout high school, like I would just see your sister and be like, I made her cry once in the third grade. And
do you want to tell that story?
So we all got our tests back, and we were supposed to keep our scores to ourselves. And me being as ADD as possible, it just didn't connect with me, and I wasn't paying attention. And I saw her paper, and she was the smartest kid in class. And I was like, "You got a D? That's insane!" And then she started crying, and I felt terrible because I got an F. But I was like, "You got a D? Damn!"
Brought her down to your level.
Yeah, and so I got scolded for that, and I'll never forget. It's one of those things that when I'm sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, or like it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to go to bed, it pops into my head, and I'm like, I fucking made Kate cry that one
That
time.
weird childhood trauma that haunts you for life.
Fuck, so you've always been like this.
Yeah.
Can you remember your childhood, Spencer, enough to have that?
Is that an old joke? You're making an old joke, right?
No.
Can you remember your
He's like, I
pancreas?
made fun of a pterodactyl
Actually,
once.
no. I don't know what it felt like to.
That's
have
fair.
one that
That's fair.
worked.
That's fair.
Sorry, we've derailed this already.
Casey, give us some
right.
background on our guest here. What's
So,
up?
honestly, you've done so much stuff. So Kyle, my good friend Kyle here, I haven't seen you in 10 years. It's so nice to see you,
it's
by the way.
honestly like almost been... It's been like a 10 years and a week, I think, since
Well,
I moved to Idaho.
You are a music and audio aficionado because we were talking before the podcast. Tell us how you...
I'm a cinephile. He's an audiophile.
He's awesome and you're a turd. But
That's fair.
You're a responsible turd.
Hell yeah.
you took that pretty well.
Yeah, it's accurate. So I'm not going to
tell us
fight it.
about how you got into audio engineering and music and the origins of Denim Dan, the whole nine, man. Just give it to us.
Okay, all right. Well, it all started almost 27 years ago when man and woman really love each other. No. So I guess I start with, I say that, oh, I don't either, but my parents have instilled it in me sometimes. I'm traumatized. I guess like the thing that I always attribute to me getting into music was in 7th grade, I was playing a demo for Warcraft 3, which is an RTS game on the PC. I was playing online with this guy, and he showed me this band. He was like, oh, this album just came out. It's this band In Flames put out their album Come Clarity in 2004, 2005. It's the first metal band I really listened to. It was the first band that I had kind of discovered outside of what my parents had told me. And from then, I just hit the ground running.
That's a badass introduction to metal.
It was. I was kind of scared to tell my parents because it had screaming in it. And,
Sure.
they were all like, they were against it. But then as soon, of course, I showed them. They're like, okay. Cool.
I can't think.
They're like, you're your own person.
You're your own person. But yeah, so from then, I got into metal in my junior year of high school. I was in a band initially called The Inborn Lifeless, which was an In Flames song, I think, from their first demo. Changed it to The Devil and Tom Walker. We recorded one track like a week before I moved to Idaho.
Those are both great names.
They were both Devil and Tom Walker was
very
fun.
good names.
We played at our high school's music night, and it's the South.
I did that.
And a lot of parents were like, "Man, they're screaming. They're talking about devil stuff."
That was my first ever actual performance in front of anybody. Was at the high school talent show.
It's like a rite of passage.
And I know it is.
Yeah.
We did "Fade to Black" by Metallica, which in retrospect was like great. That's a great way to break your live cherries, to play a Metallica tune. But like it could have gone another way. It could have been terrible, and I don't think we did it very well. But
I'm jealous that you actually did that, because that was what my high school band was in its first iteration when we did that show, was just screaming metal, and I was Cookie Monstering. It was awful. But we were convinced that we wouldn't make it. So it was Cookie Monster metal. That's exactly what I sounded like. I have the demos still.
I think you're a little more high pitched. You were like, Cookie.
It's bad. Point being, we had one. Shut up, microphone. We had one ballad. So, because I had experienced my first heartbreak in the middle of this
Gotta
metal
write a
thing,
ballad about
and Ronnie was like, "We should write a ballad for it." So,
Dude,
so we did.
there's
and
nothing.
That was one that we
there's
took
nothing
in.
like the combination of teenage hormones and like an angsty ballad.
Yeah.
Nothing.
The
nothing
problem,
like it.
The problem is though, like it haunts me to this day, because we did a show the next year and it was far better. But with the ballad, I had just figured out that I didn't have to do Cookie Monster vocals on things, and I am not trained as a singer. So we showed up and played it, and everyone was flabbergasted and apparently loved it. I think that it was because they realized that I could make sounds with my mouth, because I was the quiet kid. And
he talks. Not
when
only
you
does he
watch
talk,
the video
he
back,
screams.
it's like this really out of key, just kind of like crying on a microphone. Wimper
Why did
fest.
you leave? He's like,
Starting-
so alone.
It's like if a fear boner actually ejaculated.
Yeah. I'm starting to understand why we're still mixing our album too. Fucking
I'll take the blame for that all day long.
Crying
You
on
guys
the-
can
just
twist some
kidding.
knobs to tune up.
He's like, Libby put the seat up, and I sat in the toilet. I was so sad about it.
I still have flashbacks to that song anytime I sit on my balls.
anyway, back to our guest.
Sorry.
So played in high school, upcoming in a couple metal bands. Go from there.
So I was just the vocalist in that band. I had a couple guitars.
Let me ask you. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me ask. Did you do like metal vocals? Did you do like screams and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
How long did it take to learn that kind of stuff? Like, I'm fascinated with like we've gone back and forth, and we've got a guitar player.
He's pretty good at it.
Yeah, and he totally doesn't do like the controlled scream where you use like the other.
The vocal fry, the safe vocal fry thing.
He just gets it going and like blows his voice out, but it
Well,
sounds
see, that
awesome.
was so. With this was the only band that I ever did screaming in, and I don't know if I ever mastered it. I could do the screaming, but I would always have to do really short lines because I didn't know how to control
It's
my
a
breath
weird,
at the time. So I would
weird
go
thing.
like,
Yeah.
"Ooh," and then I'm out. I
Yeah.
just use all my air and I'm gone. So I don't think I ever mastered it because I moved to Idaho from then. Wasn't in any bands for several years, and by the time I did start doing music again, I wasn't playing metal.
What did you do in your downtime?
So
Were you still somewhat like?
I'll give you a little timeline. So that band, I didn't play any. I was just a vocalist. I had a couple guitars growing up, but I just never. I didn't have the dedication, I guess,
Sure.
to sit down and teach myself guitar. So fast forward a few years, I moved to Idaho my senior year of high school, 2010. Graduated, moved up to North Idaho, right on the Washington border, hour and a half south of Canada. Went to University of Idaho up there. Kind of did my own thing for a couple of years, tried finding myself. Ended up joining a fraternity, which you guys don't know, but Casey knows me. Fraternity is it's not my scene. But I ended up
That's
meeting this guy in
interesting.
there. Yeah, I was in there for about a year and a half. They wanted me to pay like $700 a semester. You're basically buying your friends, and they're shitty friends.
You should watch RS on Netflix when you get a chance.
Okay,
Continue.
RS. Okay, yeah. But anyway, I met this guy Josh in there, and I think we were both just trying to, we didn't know who we were, trying to find ourselves. We both ended up leaving. Maybe 6 months, a year later, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, I know you're kind of into music. My band is looking for a bass player. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "I kind of play guitar, so yeah, I can play bass." Obviously, I couldn't.
I've made that mistake too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you only play the one note of the chord, right?
You're playing roots, man. That's all you're doing. You're just playing the root chord.
Nothing makes bass players madder
man.
than a guitar player.
We love you, Randy.
Nothing. But so that was my foray into music. And I think what made me very successful in that band is I was unemployed and I was in and out of school. And thank God for my parents for supporting me through those times because I was such a shithead. But they were helping me. So I was able to play in this band and tour and stuff. So me and him, we had Charcoal Squids. It was a psychedelic rock band. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of the OCs, and I think we were pretty similar to the OCs. So me and him had that band, and then he had a side project called Father Dear, which is like an acoustic band. And we went on tour. He wanted to go on tour with Father Dear, and so he was like, "Do you think you could play drums?" I said, "Sure, why not? I could figure it out." So I started playing. I did like foot drums, and I played bass with my hands. But then on that tour, another band came with us. They needed a full drummer, so I hopped on, and that was kind of like. That's when I dropped into music. That's when I was like, this is my thing. I feel good at doing this. I love touring. I love playing shows. So he ended up moving to Montana with those bands. We kind of separated ways. And then from there, I started my own bands. I drummed in. I have this, on and off metal band, Food, Water, Shelter. We call it survival metal. I play drums. My friend Hannah plays guitar. We both sing. It's like doom metal about the environment.
I think that's awesome.
It's great. We wrote it right around the times of the protests in North Dakota for the Keystone Pipeline. So we have a song called 2 p.m. North Dakota. But then Hannah moved. She was working on her doctorate, so she moved a few hours south. So we kind of split up. So I started Denim Dan, my solo folk project. I'd opened for bands as a folk musician. Small town Idaho, we had a pretty good music scene, but when bands come through, there's like 3 or 4 bands that open for all the bands.
Right.
There's the main active bands in town. So I would open with my acoustic stuff, and then one day I decided I want to start a band for it. Got my friend Tyler on drums, a couple other, Katie and Josh playing keys and bass respectively. And it was intended to be a backing band for my country music. But like I was telling you guys earlier, at our very first practice, we ended up writing this sick psychedelic punk song, just super fast paced and groovy. And it was totally off the cuff. We all just linked in, and after we played it, we're like, yeah, we're not doing country anymore. We're going to make some really rad tunes.
I love the name, by the way.
Denim Dan and the Blue Jean Band.
It's so good. It's so like it just rolls off the tongue. Like I hear that and I'm like, I don't even know what they're singing or their music is, but I want to hear Denim Dan and the Blue Jean Band.
How do you do your names? Because so far every name we've heard is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Food, Water, Shelter was not my creation, but it's based off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Before you can start fulfilling yourself like emotionally and stuff, you need the 3 basics of food, water, and shelter. And that's kind of how we wanted to make this band. It was a 2-piece band, super basic. We wanted to take it, guitar, vocals, drums. That's it. That's all we wanted. That's all we did. Just super basic stuff. And it was more about the show than the music. We put our heart in the music too, but it was very much like a theatrical thing. We had this one show where usually during this one part of the song, it's like we do double time. I'm doing kind of some drum shit, and Hannah would pour a beer down my throat. And we played this one show. It's a Halloween show. And we put fake blood into a can, and she poured it all over my head. It gets everywhere. I don't know where I came up with Denim Dan. I think it was my friend Nick Anderton, if he listens to this, came up with Denim Dan because I always wear, especially in Idaho, I wear a denim jacket, denim jeans. I'm just Denim Dan. So he came up with
That's also my fall wardrobe.
It's great. I love it. I'll throw a hoodie on underneath the denim jacket. That's all I need.
Done. Same. Yeah. And I've been criticized for that. Like, you've got a lot of denim on. I'm like,
that's because
you
Kyle's the only
you
one
look
that
like you're going to shingle a house in the middle of
pull it off.
February. It's weird.
You know what, Casey? I might shingle a fucking house.
Looks like you're about to pressure wash a sidewalk when you wear that much of denim.
He'll shingle the house if you'll rake him across the lawn.
Well, I also, when I was a
I'll
kid,
always do
I had a
that.
cool denim jacket when I was a kid. And then for like, I don't know what happened. I guess I just was, I don't know what the fuck I've been wearing for like 30 years. But like 3 years ago, I got my hands on like a really cool denim jacket that I like a lot. And it just sort of became like this is my second skin.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
wear it
yeah.
every single day. And it got some fucking holes in it. And I didn't care. I patched them up. But it was immediately just like,
You feel a kinship to it.
I did. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm wearing this every day. I don't care.
Now, with Denim Dan and the Blue Jean Band, which was my favorite, like anytime you release music and you're like, check out this link, I'd click on it. I don't know if I ever posted that I was listening. I know I liked everything you did, shared. I was basically a lurker. I lurked your life.
Hey,
And
that's
I
what
was
the
like,
internet's for, man.
Yeah. But also, you had another band that I followed and I enjoyed the shit out of, which was Lloyd and Savior. And I'm kind of interested in how that started. Because was that before or after Denim Dan?
That was at the beginning of Denim Dan.
Okay.
So I started Denim Dan in January of 2017. Our first show was 420 of 2017. Great time. But I started jamming with Lloyd in March of that year. So I had started Denim Dan, but it wasn't like we had like 4 songs by the time I left Idaho that summer. But Lloyd and Savior is my friend Lloyd's band. Started off as just him and a drum machine. He had just had this, I don't know, maybe like a Roland drum machine that he would program the beats into, run it through a PA, and then he would play guitar and sing along with it. But he was going on tour, or we went on tour. He was going on tour. It was this month-long tour we started in Idaho and all the way out to Memphis and looped back, went through, I think, 12 states, something like that. And I had, he was kind of hesitant to having a drummer just because he worked so well with the drum machine, and you don't have to worry about the drum machine losing time.
You don't have to talk to the drum
You don't
machine.
have to talk to the drum machine. It just does what you tell it to do. But I had decided that I was going to leave Idaho. I hadn't decided on what, but I'd spent there 8 years there. I just felt like it was time to go. So he was like, well, then why don't you come on tour with me, drum for me? We'll have fun, kind of a last hurrah. That ended up turning into a 3-4 month long. It was initially just a tour, and then after the tour was over, we're like, fuck, we're bored. Let's go spend 4th of July in Colorado, play some shows around there. We did some, we just kind of, tour was over. We were not done with tour. We wanted to keep going, so we just kept booking shows. So it started as just me, just being kind of like just drumming. I just wanted to go on tour.
You put me on a rabbit hole of YouTubing nothing but basement band shows and just
the
watching
best.
dudes play punk in basements.
Yes.
But we went to Exit In to see Butch Walker play
In Nashville?
in Nashville.
Great venue. Love that
And
place.
it was,
Dude,
it was
and there's a lot. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh.
It might be dying because of the COVID
Yeah.
thing, and there's a lot of there's like some GoFundMes.
So many, yeah. I've been talking about that a lot with friends lately because there's just no protection for these venues. Especially there's this one place in Nashville called The End, which is
Oh, I've been there. Love it.
incredible. They're
Love
only
it.
open when they have shows. It's a bar, but they're not a 7-day a week bar. They only open up when bands come.
Isn't
and
that
play.
that's sort of across from Exit In, isn't it? Kind of.
Yes, it's like right across the street from it.
Yep.
I'm not sure what part of town.
And I
don't know
hear
directions.
that the place right behind Cafe Coco, I hear it's already closing.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these places, because there's no. It's weird because Nashville it's Music City. It's maybe not the entertainment capital of the world, but it's definitely the entertainment capital of
The South.
the South.
for sure.
I was gonna say the East, but you've got New York, which obviously is way better. But it's Music City. Historically, everything you walk down Broadway, left and right, everywhere you go, there's 3 bands playing in each building.
Yeah.
But there's like no protections for these places, and lots of these places are trying to open back up, and I can't fault them. I don't want them to open back up. I don't know if you guys have seen videos of this past weekend. People are going
Driving down the street.
They're just people aren't wearing masks. There's thousands of people downtown Broadway.
It was fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Oh,
It's so fucked up.
But it just looks like a big bachelorette party.
Downtown is just a big bachelorette party. Fuck that place.
yesterday in Market
Fact.
Square, it was just filled with people, and only half of them were wearing masks. And I was like, this 50% of people couldn't have all tested negative for COVID.
Yeah, there's no way.
But interchangeably, also amongst the 100% of people, 99% of them adhere to 0 social distancing either.
It's
You
a
say
mess.
that, and then we all hung out on Fridays. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that was a small group.
It was,
though.
yes. It was under 6,
It was
or right at 6.
I think it was it was 5 or 6 people.
Well, and I think most people are counting on like your close friends to tell you, like, "Hey, man,
If they're sick or
just so you
something.
know, a guy
But, yeah.
I work with tested positive, so I don't know if you want me to come over. I don't have any symptoms, and my temperature is like below 98." Just like most people that aren't a dipshit, I think, are having
Yeah.
that conversation,
Yeah.
and they're being cool. So they're like, "Cool, man, I feel good. You feel good. We can fucking hang out." But
And how easy is it to have that quick, like 30
But when you're in a
conversation?
bachelorette
Yeah.
party, where
oh,
they're
dude,
all
I know
sick,
the video he's talking
and
about. I
they're
saw
all
it
rubbing
today.
up on each other?
Somebody's just driving down Broadway in Nashville with like their fucking phone out the window, and it's just bedlam. It just like and nobody's got a mask on, and everybody's hammered, and they're like just being dumb.
And
And
all the woo girls are wooing COVID all over each other.
Yeah.
it's nuts.
Well, they have their civil liberties.
Now I
that they
just
need
pictured
to
a bottle
drown
of
in
champagne
alcohol.
called COVID, and the girls are spraying all
Dude,
over.
even before COVID, Broadway is just.
It's true.
I'm moving back to Idaho in a month. one, because COVID has kind of thrown a wrench in everybody's plans, but also fuck Nashville. If you're like a Nashvilleian, I'm sure several people go to Broadway, but if I'm going out, I'm going to East Nashville.
Me, same.
It's awesome. I love East Nashville. I got a buddy,
Dude,
it's just great.
I'm
But
good.
Broadway is just like full. It's pedal taverns and tractors pulling fucking water, like hot
It's a
tubs.
bachelorette party.
It's a bachelorette party. You know, my fiance before COVID, she works for. She works downtown. I don't know if I want to say the company, but
Sure.
she worked from a building downtown, but now she's been working from home. So sometimes I would take her. Sometimes I would take things to her at work, or we just go down, or she drove down there every day. And it takes so long to get in and out of downtown because these pedal taverns are going 5 miles an hour on the main fucking road, and it's
Crazy.
like you can't go around.
insanity.
Them. It's insanity. Oh man.
Yeah, my favorite parts of Nashville are definitely East Nashville and over there like Elliston Place, like where
Yeah,
Exit
yeah, yeah.
In, and we used to drive there all the time to see. So I've seen so many good shows at Exit In. I mean, everybody has. I'm not going to go through them, but just I remember driving there to see various things. Butch Walker a million times, but also like Ken Andrews' kind of other band, You're the Rabbit. We saw them there. And then we would always stay overnight, probably stay out, drink too much, whatever, and then wake up the next day, go to Cafe Coco, get loaded on coffee, kind of maybe get a little breakfast, kind of get the hangover off, and then drive back to Knoxville. And it was magical. And now they're talking about closing it down, maybe losing Exit In. I played at Exit In, and it was so much fucking fun. We traveled there and played with Brian Stevens' band. And I was like, holy shit, we're playing at Exit In. Fucking crazy. I've been to the Inn. I've been to the Basement East. But right downtown where all the like cowboy bars are and stuff, not my scene. And I think East Nashville is rad. There's some stuff I love going to out there. Not that pedal tavern downtown.
Yeah, and that's. I hate that people come to town and they come for their bachelorette parties and they just do the Strip. They just do Broadway. They don't experience what they think Nashville is, not what Nashville actually is.
When we were driving to Nashville, we went to a bar first across the street from Nashville, or Exit In. I mean,
Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
Yeah.
And
Which is now closed too, I think.
all we did was listen to the Tennessee-Georgia game on the way there because it was me, you, and Eric Stam. And
That's a fact.
And Eric Stam was just in the back just getting so heated because Tennessee was losing, obviously.
To the point where a guy got hurt, and he goes, well, it's about time.
Yeah. and me and Spencer had a good laugh about that. But anyways, we went to the Butch Walker show, and I loved it. I loved his show. There was drums in it. It didn't make me wince. I didn't even wear earbuds, but I guess it was just the acoustics.
You can't not love his live show. It's
it's
when
when
he
he plays Cigarette Lighter Love Song.
he plays anything.
On the piano, right when I was singing at the top of my lungs.
But yeah, total sympathies to Nashville. So you're leaving Nashville. You're headed back to Idaho.
Heading back to Idaho, yeah. My folks live in Idaho Falls. We moved there my senior year of high school. My dad's a nuclear engineer. Too smart for his own good. He's a fucking genius. It blows my mind. So he works at the nuclear lab out there. And so, yeah, I've enjoyed my time in Nashville. I've learned a lot about the music industry, but at the same time, I've also learned it's just like I'm a fish in a big pond, and I'd rather be a fish in a small pond. Yeah. So in Boise, kind of where I'm wanting to end up. I've been part of the Idaho scene for years. I know musicians all over down there, up there, and so I know that if I get there, I can just I've already reached out to friends who are like, yeah, as soon as you get into town, let's start jamming. Let's hit the ground rolling.
Well, on the internet, for all of the things, like I think a lot of musicians have a lot of very valid complaints about how the internet changed the music business, and it did. But also, it's leveled the playing field.
Absolutely,
you don't have to be in LA or in Nashville just slogging. I mean, eventually you might have to take a flight there, but it's level. You could be anywhere, like Boise, and you can get something really hot going. And thanks to the internet, it's on everybody's phone, no matter where they live. And
something that goes back even before internet. I know Modest Mouse did this. Being a band it's better to be a band in a smaller city or just in a different city and then travel to the city to play than to be in the city and play. Modest Mouse always labeled themselves as from Issaquah and not Seattle, so that they could be, they could book shows. We're not from Seattle. We're not locals trying to book shows all the time. We're out of towners coming in. Even though Issaquah is, it's a suburb of Seattle. It's right there. But yeah, go back to the internet. I'm finishing up recording the Denim Dan debut album. I got this buddy, Zach D'Amico in East Nashville, Common Man Studios. Check him out if you haven't. We did drums at his studio and bass, and I've been doing guitar at my house because I've got this guitar modeling software called Bias FX, which You might be interested. It's so sick.
It's sick.
And then my guitar player, I used to live in Phoenix, and my friend Robert, we both went to audio engineering school there, and he's an amazing guitar player. He lives in Seattle now. So we've recorded tracks in East Nashville. I live like southeast of Nashville. I'm doing my guitar tracks. Once I finish up my vocals and everything, I'm sending them off to my buddy in Seattle. 2 seconds to send it 1,500 miles away. He'll record his parts, send them back to me. The internet has.
Yeah, you don't even have to be in the same city to make a record together.
You don't even have to be in the same
Meshuggah,
city.
I think, was one of the Meshuggah was doing that. Like even in early 2002, they would not even see each other for a year while they were recording.
Yeah.
And then they'd meet for like tour rehearsals and be like, I've had to look at her face or whatever. I don't know how
There's that
Meshuggah
band,
talks.
The Postal Service, which was I think the guy from Death Cab and somebody else. And they're named the Postal Service because they lived across the country from them, and they just send each other tapes back and forth.
Fuck, I didn't know that's why they got their name. That's amazing.
I think that's the story I've heard.
Well,
and
we've
that
even been
is
doing
like-
that since our drummer is in the National Guard. He got deployed to Guam for 2 months. He'll be back.
They let him play drums out there?
Dude, as soon as
a pretty boss video.
as soon as he got there, somebody tested positive, and so they all got quarantined. He literally couldn't leave his room for 2 weeks. Shout out, Brandon. I know you had to wash your underwear in the sink. And props to you for sending us pictures of it. I think the benefits, I don't know. That's tough to say because nobody's making money at it
Well,
anymore.
it's weird because we're not in the room, and I like the room
I
vibe
don't
for
know,
all of
the
it.
benefits have outweighed the disadvantages because the
But-
advantages were you used to be able to make a living at music, and it's
Yeah,
tough now.
yeah.
It's a lot easier to not like fight about decisions either because you can just do them and send them, and Randy will message you in the group and not privately and say it sounds like balls. Don't do that again.
Love you, Randy. I don't think he listens anyway.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
But
like,
if
if I
you
sound
do,
the way I
we-
fucking want him to sound,
Yeah.
and I email it to him. Here, deal with it.
It's tough to say whether the good outweighs the bad. I think from a musician standpoint, being able to do everything from home is amazing. But yeah, I'm an audio engineer.
agree.
I paid too much money to go to school for it, and I've not gotten much work since. Now I didn't go into it with the I went into it just wanting a life change. I wanted to be able to record my own music and get a job from there was the benefit. But I didn't go into it saying I wanted a job in this field. But yeah, it's tough, especially in Nashville. There's this guy, Lidshaw, who runs Toy Box Studios. I interned with him last summer. Runs it out of his house. He's got like a detached garage that he converted into a studio, I don't know, probably back in the 90s. He's a Grammy Award-winning engineer. Super cool dude. A couple of years ago, I don't know the full story, so I won't say the lead up to it, but basically he entered into a civil suit against the city of Nashville. They don't think that he should be able to run a business out of his home, but this dude's been doing it for 20, 30 years, something like that. Never had any complaints. Has won Grammys, so it's not just some amateur guy doing it out of his backyard. So he just recently won a case against the state of Nashville. So he is finally able to. For years, like a couple of years, he wasn't able to record. He was just doing podcasts. So now he's finally won the case against Nashville, being able to record out of his home. And I think that's huge. It's not even for him as a huge engineer, but for anybody. Like my friend Zach has an analog studio that he runs out of his house. For anybody that wants to do these things, I don't think we should be having to go to RCA Studio B to record like a 5-track EP. I want to be able to do it at home. I'm recording my own album at home. I don't want to have to pay to go to a studio unless I have to. So I think for the musician, it's amazing. For the engineer, we just have to get more creative and find more ways to make money.
Well, and plus, if you sink all that money into like a commercial space for your studio, like the guy we keep talking about, Butch Walker, he's still got a studio. He's had 2 or 3 studios in Nashville. He's normally in Malibu, and he does all kinds of albums for everybody out there. But he works in Nashville too, and he had I forget what the place was, but it was a historical location that he had bought. I think it was one of the old RCA studios or whatever. So that was his Nashville studio, and they just rezoned it. They tore it down and made condos. And so, like, if you do go get a commercial space, eventually they're just going to build fucking tacky-ass condos on it and have another bachelorette party or something,
Having whatever the next big pop country band's going to be their own bar.
You're safer in a neighborhood where they can't level the whole neighborhood.
The next big country band, you mean North Carolina, South Carolina line?
Dude, yeah,
I love that.
that's great.
Florida Georgia line is
Not North
Cancer?
Carolina, South Carolina.
fucking cancer. I have such big beef with
Tell us about
country
it. Tell us
stars.
about it.
Okay, I'm not a big fan, but to be fair to them, at least like their chord charting is like charting is probably the wrong term, but it's good enough.
You mean it's
I
the
just
same,
like to roll my window
talking about,
down
like,
and
Nashville
cruise.
numbers?
It's the
That's all
same
I'm
chord
saying.
progression that have you not seen that thing where all the songs are the same?
Have you listened to Bo Burnham do
Yeah,
making
yeah.
fun of country
Yeah.
songs?
So
It's
like
good.
I love classic country, like outlaw country, 60s, 70s, 80s, even some 90s country. You know, like I'll listen to some Garth Brooks, Shenandoah, stuff like that.
dude. I was a big. I didn't know. I used to hang out in like there was kind of a little punk rock. Well, like a punk rock dive ass bar called the Prince Deli here a long time ago. They had metal bands, but then the jukebox was loaded with like shit like Alan Jackson back in the day.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to like Midnight in Montgomery, and I was like, fucking badass. It's like a desperado country.
Yeah, I love the Highwaymen.
dude.
Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson.
Yeah,
Fucking
country's not
power
bad.
couple.
Come
I
on.
love classic country, but pop country these days, there are some artists like Chris Stapleton's doing amazing work.
Of course.
There are some people that are making killer country, but then you've got artists like. My biggest beef is with Luke Bryan, Florida Georgia Line.
Little
Jason Aldean.
Jason
Who's
Aldean.
the one? Dude, I'm terrible about the new
Blake
country.
Shelton. I have a song called "Fuck You, Blake Shelton," and if he ever hears this, I hope he doesn't sue me.
Dude, some guy.
Can he sue you for that?
I don't know. There's
don't
I'm not.
think
There's
so.
nothing in there where I'm like. Well, I guess I do. There's one line where I says he smells like shit. No, I said I bet he smells like shit. It's
You
not,
bet. Yeah,
I
you
bet.
have to. As long as that,
yeah.
you got to cover your tracks. Good,
At
good.
the school I went to, we had like some music law classes, and there were teachers who taught it. And so I sent it to him, and I was like, "Can I get in trouble for this song?" And he goes, "I don't know, probably. Just do it anyway." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. That's not really the legal help I was looking for." But yeah, so like Luke Bryan especially, it's hick-hop. They got 808 beats,
Dude.
It's just like 4 to the floor. They got this weird thing where they're always
Hick-hop.
snapping. If it's like a ballad, there's a snap. It is straight up hip hop. Nashville wants to become. They are trying so hard to break into the top 40 hip hop scenes, and you see like Florida Georgia Line did a song with Halsey. They're bringing in all these pop artists.
Oh yeah.
Florida
it's
Georgia
like-
Line did a song with Nelly.
Fucking Jason Derulo has a CM. He won a country music award. Hip hop artist Jason Derulo won a CMA.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's
I know
that is
he,
what
I know he has
Nashville
taken over
is.
TikTok. Jason Derulo apparently owns TikTok. Like,
Next, they're going to give Eminem an Oscar.
Yeah,
Not for 8 Mile. Movie was trash.
did you ever see the Britney Spears 8 Mile?
No.
She also had a movie called. Oh no! Just kidding. It's Crossroads. She had a movie called Crossroads, and there's also the Ralph Macchio
dude,
movie where he
it's
does
so
a guitar
hard.
battle.
I'm
against Steve
such a
Vai.
fan of the first one, the original one that with Joe Seneca. I used to grow up telling people, "Have you ever seen fucking Crossroads, man?" And they would go, "The Britney Spears movie," and I'd be like, "We don't talk anymore."
Yeah.
Me and you, no, we're not.
I
friends.
love that movie. The fact that they tried to pass Ralph Macchio off as this Juilliard trained
shit.
classical guitar player, like
He was so bad in it.
I love. It's so. Oh man.
As I grew older, I learned to love the only part of that movie is because the old black dude, the Joe Seneca, he plays Willie Brown. He just shits on him through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And he's like this Jersey guy. He goes, "Hey, Willie, what do you think about this?" And he goes, "Sound like bird shit." And he'd be like, "Hey, Willie, this is some real blues here." And he'll play something and he goes, "Where do you learn them pussy chords?" But that's the whole movie's him just shit on. I learned to love it for that. I was like, oh, I kind of like him getting shit on, Plus all the slide guitars played by Ry Cooder, and it's fucking bad. I didn't. Again, as a kid, I just wanted to see the part at the end where he shreds. But I was like, later on, I was like, damn, that's got some good fucking guitar playing. The whole movie,
So Bo Burnham has a song, I think I've showed it to you before, called Pandering. And it's making fun of the stadium country is what he calls it. And my favorite part in the entire thing is when he goes, "Y'all dumb motherfuckers want a key change," and changes it, and the entire crowd loses it. They're all like, "Woo!" And he's
Who
like,
is-
"Yeah, I bet you love
Who
that."
is the person that sings that song? Okay, there's this country song that's kind of big lately, and it's exactly that. Like, I don't know who it is, but I have some friends that are actually friends that love it, and that's how I know about it. They made me listen to it, like in their car.
Was it bad?
It's the one where he talks about long neck, ice cold beer. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs.
Okay,
At least that's what my cursory.
I'm
Google-
sure it is.
Yeah.
that's the one. That's got to
All
be
of
the
that
one.
sounds right.
Luke
But
Bryan a
it's
couple
got
years
this
ago.
big chanty chorus, and that something about it is just like kryptonite for like certain women.
Yeah.
like they go woo, long, and it just brings out the country slut. And girls, I'm sorry, I apologize.
They wear
the-
all of a
the
sudden,
what?
like their pants turn to Daisy Dukes, their shoes turn to cowboy boots, and their shirt turns like a tank top that's like a crop top, and they're just like, "I want to show you my titties."
Yeah,
You don't slide across the hood of your
and they're
car.
all down on Broadway in Nashville, just boom like that. As soon as
Yeah.
they sing that chorus, they're transported to
Yeah, they're on
like
one of those tavern
a
trolleys.
bachelorette party.
See, I wasn't aware of that as a country music trope, though. We have a new song in our new batch of songs that has a key change in it, and I call it the church song because
Y'all
of
dumb
that.
motherfuckers want to keep
No,
change.
I found this song recently called It's something called like Parked Out by the Lake.
It's amazing.
You've heard it?
Dean Summerlin.
Yeah. Parked out by the lake. The premise of the song is that he's parked out by this lake, and the lake is 80 miles from Santa Fe.
Yeah,
and
have you guys
those are
heard
the
this?
only lyrics in the song. He like reworks it. He'll be like, "I'm parked out by the lake, 80 miles from Santa Fe. If you're wondering where I'm parked out by the lake.
It's the lake out where I'm parked. Out by the lake, 80 miles from Santa Fe. And it just keeps going. There's one that's like a 9-hour version of it on YouTube, and it just shows a car parked by a lake, and it's a joke, but it sounds just like
the production
legit.
quality on it is perfect.
And
It's a Nashville
it's
song.
actually, I did a little digging. The place where I work, we all went on a big kick with Dean Summerlin, and just anybody randomly at one part of the day would go in the office and put it on over the PA, and we'd parked out by the lake. We were like, oh shit! And if you watch the YouTube video long enough, an eagle comes, like way late in the video, like an eagle goes by, and they'll go, "Did you watch it long enough to see the eagle?" It's fucking incredible.
The last person I dated, it was like 5 years ago, but they love country music, and I had to listen to it all the time because I'm a good person.
Was she into Kenny Chesney?
Good people don't let other
like
people
it was
listen to
like
bad country.
Luke Bryant, Jason Aldean.
I can't handle
like,
Kenny Chesney. I can't handle it.
Kenny Chesney's a piece of shit.
Neither
Everybody
Joe
Allegedly,
Wagner.
Kenny Chesney's dad was my gym teacher at
Gibbs?
Carnes, I think. Carnes Elementary.
Probably.
That was a tale I heard as a kid. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
No,
but
he
I
went
like
to high school here.
Yeah,
somewhere.
he went to high school here. His family lives here.
Yeah.
But Jason Aldean was the one that pissed me off the most because that motherfucker doesn't sing. He just talks, and then there's a chorus, and he kind of sings in it, but he's just like, "It's nighttime, and the girl came up to pick me up from my house. It was hot. I really liked it.
Is it
And
really like that?
I'm gonna love her," and it's just like he's not singing.
Dude, I'll tell you a
And
funny
people
story
are like,
about
"I love Jason Aldean." I'm like, I really hope he gets hit by a tractor.
He looks like the lead singer from Smash Mouth with a cowboy hat on.
He does.
He looks. It's like I've never seen him and the guy from Smash Mouth and Guy Fieri in the same room together, and there's a reason for that.
They're gonna take you down to Flavor Town.
They're gonna take me down to Flavor Town, buddy.
one of my guys I played in a band with, like back in the day, we were like total metalheads, and we went to the record store in the mall to get like the new Slayer record or something, like we had and there were all these people in there. We were just like, what the fuck is going on? There was like a lot of Karens in there, and we were just like, whatever. Anyway, oh, check it out, like Celtic Frost. Oh, fucking hey, dude, like the new Halloween. What, We were digging through all the records, and all of a sudden they started closing the gates to the store. And we're like, what the fuck is going on in here? And all these people had these records, and they started lining up. And I was like, dude, are we getting trapped in the record store? What's going on? And they go, hey, Kenny Chesney's about to come out. And we were like, fucking who? I was like, I'm here for fucking Megadeth, dude. What are you like? And then she was like, Kenny Chesney's here. He's going to sign autographs. And we were like, Kenny fucking who? And all of a sudden the door opens and this guy comes out and it's him. And he's like, hey, thanks everybody. And we're just standing there like, who the
3
fuck
feet
is this? Dude, we were like, who is this fucking guy? And like, it was just bad. And we were like, excuse me, we didn't mean to be here for this. Can you please let us out? And they had to open the gate and let us out. We're like, have a nice day.
Do you remember when Dog the Bounty Hunter came and did a book signing at Books A Million?
I
did.
do. I fucking do.
I did.
Man.
I was working at
almighty.
Books A Million. I got to meet him.
Yeah,
He
I
was
was there
30
for
minutes
that.
late because he made a stop by McDonald's. And everybody that came up to the cafe because he was going to be late, so everybody came up to get drinks. Everybody was making rumors up, and they're like, "I bet he had to go chase a bounty." And I was like, "Yeah, the Hamburglar. He had to go get that 20-piece nugget meal."
Dude, that was amazing. I was at that. I
mean,
came there just to like kind of like people watch.
here's the
Again, no
thing.
judgment, but it was fucking nuts.
As a kid, I used to watch Dog's Bounty Hunter as a guilty pleasure for sure because it's such garbage junk food TV to watch. But recently, I listened to him on Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard. I feel fucking bad for that guy because he just recently lost his wife, and it's just like that guy.
Wasn't she like a big part of the show?
Yeah.
He's like fucking lost, right? Like I think recently he just now like got a girlfriend and is like rediscovering. But man, listen to him talk about like watching her just deteriorate due to cancer is fucking rough. And he's just like, I couldn't do anything. There's nothing I could do. Like I spent my whole life putting criminals away for bond jumping. And he was like, and here's this thing just destroying the one person I really love, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I was like, man, I feel so bad for making jokes about you at Books A Million.
Dog, if you're listening to this, find me and I'll give you a hug.
I doubt he is.
He's actually
cool
one
dude.
of our few fans.
I do remember when Mike Huckabee came to town.
He's not a fan of ours.
I also remember that Ramsey guy, the financial guy, something.
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. He came to town and made one of the, he picked out the hottest girl that worked at Books A Million and asked if she would massage his hands for him.
No shit.
What a fucking creep.
And then he ordered a cabinet off Wayfair. It was weird.
Dude, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Dude, it would be really rad if you came back on the show or whatever, but definitely let us know when you get your music stuff, like when you get it uploaded and it's out streaming and everything like that. We'll link to it. We'll even, if you want, we'll feature some of it on the show. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just work it out.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have intro, outro music. We're always looking for.
Well, we did the same thing with Reason to Find and like Paris Monster.
yeah.
That we said, look, we're super into you guys. Would you mind if we played some of the music on the show? And they were like, totally cool. Like, so we try to get our people into it.
And if you end up going back to Boise, we also, I'm pretty sure we can find a way to hook up to Skype. We did it once with
Oh
our
yeah, we
buddy
could
Jason.
totally do a
Yeah.
Skype.
Yeah, oh yeah,
We
oh
just
yeah.
do
I've
Skype
actually,
recording.
so I've been thinking of doing a podcast with my friend who lives in Alabama, and so we've been figuring out how they.
It's so weird.
They do this.
I do a podcast with my friend in Alabama.
Do you really?
Yeah, my buddy Jason. We did.
Shit,
a
you guys
video
really
game
are a lot
podcast.
alike.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the McElroy brothers. My brother, and me. I don't know if you guys listen to
Yes.
the podcast. They all live, like, one lives in West Virginia, one lives in Austin, the other lives in like Cincinnati, and they do it
know
all
that.
remotely. So I emailed them recently asking how they did it, and they got back to me.
Internet's. And they emailed you back.
The McElroy team did. I don't know if
okay.
it's one of them. I love those boys. I just want to hang out with them. But yeah, I'd love to come back, and if you guys want to do something remote, I can work that out. I've got
Definitely.
I've got a little bit of recording set up, but when I get back to Idaho, I just recently got a new credit card. So I'm buying I'm going to buy myself like a Mac Mini, a couple screens,
Yep.
I'm looking at these Atom Audio TV5 monitors. I've got a Pro Tools perpetual license, and I know exactly how to use it. So I'm never paying that bullshit $200 subscription fee,
Yeah.
unless they come out, unless Pro Tools gets their shit together and actually starts
Yeah.
turning themselves into a real DAW. I love Pro Tools. That's what I'm used to. I could talk for hours on.
It's industry standard.
Yeah, it's industry
So,
standard. It's so you can't even flip phase on the channel, which I think is, or reverse polarity. Sorry, people get really mad when you call polarity phase, and I don't want to get. I know if my friends listen to this, they're going to call me out on it. So I'm talking about reversing polarity, not flipping phase. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
It was a blast.
This has been
Dude,
fun.
I feel like we've got like 5 or 6 more of these in us. I really do.
Yeah, I could sit here and talk for hours.
The moment you texted me, you're like, hey man, I'm gonna be in town. I was like, you have to come on the podcast. I do a podcast with 2 of the biggest like music guys, and you 3 will just talk your fucking ears off.
Dude, we should get you like in a rotation. Like you
Yeah.
should keep in touch with him, and like every 10 episodes or something, we have him on, and we just do like a music episode. That would be very refreshing.
We need
Yeah.
to
I
think,
deep dive In Flames at some point. Would be amazing.
Yes,
Oh,
that
dude.
would be fun.
Well, and also
Yeah.
a few weeks back, we did a just all punk one, and I thought that'd be really cool to like have you come back.
Yeah,
on
we should
talk
do one where
about
we just
punk.
like talk about bands and stuff. And
I talked about my love for Yellow Card.
Oh yeah, I know you love Yellow Card.
Yeah,
We
I was a
dive-
big PacSun guy. For sure. I wore Vans and Hurley shirts and thought I skateboarded. I never did. I was a lie. I lived a lie.
oh, dude, I've sported quite a bit of like
phony.
van stuff down through the years,
phony.
and I've only stepped on a skateboard one time, and I busted my fucking head open. I just went back to the computer and played guitar after that. I was like, nope, not going to be cool till I get a gig, and
Yeah.
even then.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks for joining us so much. Open invitation anytime, man. We want to hear. I want to talk to you more and more and more. So, Casey,
Yes.
make sure we do
Where
it.
can people find Denim Dan and the Blue Jean Band music?
So right now, I've only got it on Bandcamp. I've got 5 demos on Bandcamp. It's bluejeanband.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
Got it.
I have been trying to get the album done. I've been very unmotivated, as a lot of people have during these times. So I've been
Same.
slowing down. I'm hoping to have the album out by the end of the fall.
Hell yes. I'm so excited. Denim Dan, Blue Jean Band.
Denim Dan, the Blue G Band. Thanks
Straight from the heart.
Straight from the heart.
That's straight from the heart.
Stay hydrated and believe in yourself.
We
That-
can't end on that positive note. That's-
Go fuck
Fuck you,
yourself.
Hunter.
Stay hydrated and go fuck yourself.